In this video we're going to be covering how to install Turbo Video Director. So first of all we need to open up the files. We've got Turbo Video Director here. We double click. Inside here you can see all the files that we have that we're going to be using, and the main one we want to look at to start with is the README file, because this tells us how to set up our initial database, etc. So here's our file. It says here open videodirector.sql with a text editor, something like Notepad like we've got here. And then you need to insert into these different sections values such as 1, admin, 123, and as it says here, replace your email with your email address, replace admin 123 with your username and password. For example, you could have my username and my pass 123. Save changes, and then you create a database. So let's do that first. So we find this one here that says SQL file, as you can see, Video Redirector. We right click and we open with Notepad. And then we want to scroll to the parts that it recommends or tells us that we need to edit. So if we come down here, we're looking for the admin section, and it says insert here, and we can scroll along. So we have values 1, admin, 123, your email here. So we want to change these ones here. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to leave the admin login as admin. I'm just going to change the password here and then the email address. So we can do those, and then we just save. As you can see here, I've done the admin, left it as is. I've created a test password. I've put an email address. I've just gone to the top of the notepad and I choose File and Save, and I save that to the folder. So here's that text file that I've just edited. I now need to create and load this into a database. So I need to log into cPanel of my hosting account where I'm going to create my database. Once we're logged into our cPanel, we're looking for this one here, MySQL Databases, and we need to create a new database for our project. I recommend that you actually save it as something relevant to the project that you're creating. It just makes it easier to remember, and you'll be able to install things quicker and find them in the future if you need to. So we click on MySQL, and here where it says new database, we add in our new database. Now this is a video director, so I'm just going to call it Vid Director. Vid Director I'm going to call mine, and then I just create database, and it says database created. I need to go back, so I go back. Now that I've created the database, I need to create the user. So I'm going to create a username, and what I always do is create the same username as a database name, because then it's easier to find them and associate them to the site. And then we'll assign a password and create user. Once we've entered in the information, we create user, and the system again will say account has now been created, and we're now going to associate the name with the password and the database. So let's do that now. In this drop down box you need to click and find the relevant user and that you've just created. So we want VidDirect, and then we want to do the same with the database. So we find those two first, and you can see in this case it's actually got the full name, so we can have that one in here. We want to have privileges set to all, and then we want to add user to database, and it tells us that the account added to access list. So now we have our database. We now need to run that file, that text file we just created, into this database. So when you hit go back, you'll see we've got our video direct database and our user. We now need to go right to the bottom of the screen. We're looking for something called PHP My Admin, and it's usually on this page. And if we scroll down to the bottom here, we can see PHP My Admin, so we just click on that to bring up our PHP My Admin page. With our list of databases, we're looking for the one we've created, which is the Video Direct, which we've got here, or the Video Director. So I'm going to click that one, and then it will open up and tell me I've got no tables found and give me information. So now I'm looking for this one here, the import, because I'm going to import that text file that we edited 1 moment ago. So we hit import, and we want to browse and find that particular file. So here's that text file that we edited a moment ago. We highlight it and we open, and then we come down here and we hit go, and it's now going to run that information into our database. There we go, import has successfully finished, 8 queries were executed and all the information is there. We now need to go back and collect the database name that we set up a moment ago. So here we are, here's the database that we set up, and we want to take this here, as this is the database name, right click and copy. Now if you remember, when I put it in for the username, it will only be video or D-I-R-E, vid-D-I-R-E, that will be the only part of the one we're going to use for the username. So we right click and we copy this, and we're going to use this in the next step. Back to our install creating the database file. You can see here we created the database, we ran the videodirector.sql file to create the database. We're now looking for the dbcon.php file to enter in the database information that we just created. So here's our dbcon file. We right click, open with Notepad, or you can open it if you want to in a normal editor software, it's entirely up to you. So once we open up the file here in Notepad, we want to put in the database name, so we're going to paste that here. The location is localhost. In 99.9% of times that remains the same. If for some reason it's not working, you want to speak to your hosting provider. The username was the same one if you remember, but it only went up to the E, so I have to delete those two there. That's my username, and then I have to put in the password of the database I created. Once I've done that, I save the file. Okay, back to our instructions. We've inserted the database, we've done the username, we've done the password, and we've saved the file, as you can see here. We now need to open up the data.txt file. So we're back at our folder here, and we open up the data.txt file, so open with Notepad. And as you can see here, it's got the information. We're looking for this part here, the www.yoursite here. It's also here as well. And what we need to do is we need to make sure that we also, the directory we're going to load it in, we also change that. So we want our website, so it'll be yourwebsitename.com / and then your folder, which could be Turbo Video Player, whatever you want to call it. You put in the directory name here that you're going to be installing this software to. So I'm going to do that now. As you can see, we've placed our ones in here. I'm calling the folder Turbo Video, but make sure you run along the line to make sure, like here you'll see it appears here again. So we need to make sure that we get this every right time. So I'm going to highlight the domain name and the folder name, right click and copy, and I'm going to paste it into the other places where it appears in this actual Notepad file. So in this particular case, in this file, it appears in 4 different instances. So we make sure that we get each one, and then we can safely file and save the text file. And close. So now we need to create a directory on the server, obviously the one that we specified in the your directory here. So whatever name we used, we want to create that directory on our server, upload the flash files and the images in binary. Most software like Smart FTP will do this automatically nowadays. It will actually load it in the correct format. But some of them you'll have to choose how you upload them. So the flash file and the images you need to upload in binary, and the other files in the ASCII. Then you open your browser and go to your site name, your directory name as you specified in the data. The one final piece of editing we need to do before we begin uploading to our folder is to change this PHP file here called getCode. All we do is we right click, open with Notepad, and then we bring it down. And the file that we're looking for here, or the part of the file we're looking for if we come down, is here where you see data file, this is the connection here. If I now move this along, just scroll across here. If you scroll across in Notepad, you'll see this section here, which is the data file equals server, and then the document root, and you'll see it says directory. Let me get that right for you. You'll see it says directory here. So if you've uploaded it into a directory like we have, and if you remember, we renamed ours, if I just paste it in here, we called ours Turbo Video. So we want to save that as Turbo Video, and then we just file and we save. So whatever you named your directory you're uploading it to, you need to place it in here. We open up our FTP software, which is File Transfer Protocol. In my case, I'm using Smart FTP, but any FTP software will be suitable for this, and we're going to do that now. Okay, so we've got our FTP software opened up. The first thing we want to do is make sure that we're in the public HTML folder. So it's where people will actually be viewing on the internet. Make sure you're in that folder first of all. So I'm going to click that. And if you remember when I did the data.txt file, I called my folder Turbo Video. So I want to make sure I make the same folder name on my server. All I need to do here is to right click in the blank window of where my public HTML is, new folder, and I create a new folder, and I'm just going to paste in the name that we had before, hit enter. Now if I double click on that, I've now got a blank window where I'm going to be uploading. So this is my server this side, and on this side is the contents of the folder for Turbo Video Director. Let's open up those files again. As you can see here, you need to upload the Flash files in binary and all other files in ASCII format. But as I said, with Smart FTP, it recognizes the correct files and does that for you. So I'm just going to upload these now, and to do that I'm going to left click, roll down, hold down the shift key and left click again, and it's highlighted every single file here. I then left click and hold, and I drag it across and I let go. It's now going to start uploading. I didn't actually need to upload the manual, and if I want to, in fact I probably will delete that once I've installed, because I don't want other people having access to that. So I'll delete the manual once it's uploaded, but every other file I want to have, and then once it's uploaded here and finish uploading, we'll come back to the video. And here we go. In this case it literally took, as you can see if I go up, it took a couple of minutes to upload that information, not long at all. I'm going to right click and I'm going to delete the manual because I don't want that on the site there. And now I need to browse to the page where the folder is on the internet, and everything should be running for us. Let's open that up now. Let's enter the details. So we've got our website Turbo Video folder, and here you can see we have Turbo Video Redirector, admin panel, and we need to put in our details, and they're the ones that we created originally. So I want admin and my password, and hit login. So here we go, enter our details, log in. We want it to remember. And there we have, we've logged into our projects. You can see here list projects, add projects, change password, change affiliate password, and log out. And we've installed Turbo Video Redirector. Thanks for watching.